Whoa! Parasite is directed by Bong Joon-ho. He also did Snowpiercer and Okja, if you've ever seen those. This movie is incredible. This is your Best Picture winner by 1,000 miles. Nothing this year, including Avengers Endgame, has come close to this movie and what this movie has done. I'm just gonna hop right into it. It's about this poor family, and they find an opportunity to work for this very just stupid rich family. And one by one, they each kind of infiltrate one job at a time, kind of like a parasite, until each family member is eventually working for this rich family. And that's basically the premise of the movie. I'm someone who is very bad at controlling my expectations for things. Like if I hear something is supposed to be very good, even if it's not as good as I think it's supposed to be, I automatically like take it down a few notches. And I had some very high expectations going into this film. Best film in decades. I was not let down at all. This film is all in Korean with English subtitles. If that's not your thing, like reading, get over it. But really, I mean, it is weird at first having to like read, look up, especially if you've never done it before. But like me, I've watched anime, so I'm sort of used to it. But the movie does a good job of really bringing you in, and you're kind of forgetting that you're even having to do it, and you're almost waiting for the next set of lines to come up. The only con of that is if you're like me and you don't speak Korean, you do have to read most of the time, and you can't really see a lot of like the expressions and stuff like that. So you would have to see it like 2 or 3 times to really like take in everything that's going on. But other than that, it's not really an issue. So the film is basically a social commentary about class and the rich versus the poor. And I really like the way it's depicted. Like the rich family aren't mean or cruel in any way, and they don't do things that make you despise them. And the poor family are very clever, and they're kind of survivors, and they do whatever they have to do to get by. And they have to worry about things like, do we have Wi-Fi today? Or when it rains, is our house going to flood? So the film does a really great job of depicting both sides very realistically. This film's hilarious. I mean, the humor works so well, it's because it's so clever, and it's as clever as the characters are written. Like watching this poor family like manipulate the rich family and the lengths that they have to go to get their way was just hysterical. And that was the vibe for most of the movie until the last 30 minutes. Basically, this was nothing more than a dark comedy the whole time. And then Bong Joon-ho said, vibe check, and it becomes a completely different movie. Like if you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood this year, where the last 30 minutes, shit just goes down. It's kind of like that. And you're just along for the ride, and I loved it. Also wanted to talk about the cinematography for a sec. This movie is fucking gorgeous. The way that the camera kind of follows one character and then goes to another one in one tracking shot was gorgeous. I also loved how the camera showed the separation between the rich and the poor, and kind of this long journey that these characters have to take to get to the rich family all the way down back home to where they live. And they like kind of live lower than the rich family do, and the way that they depict that visually is very impressive. The score is also worth noting because it was fucking magnificent. Like it feels like this light dark comedy vibe the whole time, and then you kind of get like little creepy elements, and then later on it goes just full swing, and it just shows how important a good score is to a movie like this. So if I were to give this movie a rating, easily 10 out of 10. I would give it an 11 out of 10, but that's not a real rating apparently. It's not often that a movie like this comes around, and like I said before, this is your Best Picture winner. If not, the Academy is fucked. Or it could be something like you think it's going to be Best Picture, and then they actually do up winning Best Picture, and then you're all excited, and then they're like, wait, no, the commentator called the wrong name. It's actually not the Best Picture, and then the other one wins even though it's still good. Kind of like that. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. You're really helping my self-esteem by doing this and making me want to live another day. Also, if you want to like and subscribe, don't be a fucking asshole. Just do it. If you would, I would also like to take a couple minutes to talk about my channel. If you'd like to subscribe to my Patreon,